We were always told that hell is a fiery place, a place of eternal damnation, a place where souls scream for eternity. But what if I were to tell you that hell is not the place you always think it was? What if hell was quiet, methodological, bureaucratic even? This was a hell that was curated in The Other People, a book by Neil Gaiman, and a book that represents to me one of the greatest mirrors towards humanity's greatest ventures, the venture of morality. This is Other People by Neil Gaiman. Time is fluid here, said the demon. He knew it was a demon the moment he saw it. He knew it, just as he knew the place was hell. There was nothing else that either of them could have been. The room was long, and the demon waited by a smoking brazier at the far end. A multitude of objects hung on the rock grey walls, of the kind that it would not have been wise or reassuring to inspect too closely. The ceiling was low, the floor oddly insubstantial. "Come close," said the demon. And he did. The demon was rake thin and naked. It was deeply scarred, and it appeared to have been flayed at some time in the distant past. It had no ears, no sex. Its lips were thin and ecstatic, and its eyes were demon's eyes that seen too much and gone too far. And under their gaze, he felt less important than a fly. "What happens now?" he asked. "Now you will be tortured." "For how long?" But the demon shook its head and made no such reply. It walked slowly along the wall, eyeing first one of the devices that hung there, then another. At the far end of the wall, by the closed door, was a whip made of frayed wire. The demon took it down with one three-fingered hand and walked back, carrying it reverently. It placed the wire tines onto the brazier and stared at them as they began to heat up. That's that's inhumane!" "Yes." The tips of the whip were glowing a dead orange. As the demon raised his arms to deliver the first blow, it said, "In time, you will remember even this moment with fondness." "You are a liar!" "No, the next part is worse." Then the tines of the whip landed on the man's back with a crack and a hiss, tearing through the expensive clothes, burning and rending and shredding as they struck. And not for the last time in the place, he screamed. There were 200 implements on the wall of that room, and in time he was to experience each one of them. When finally the Lazaren's daughter, which he had grown to know intimately, had been cleaned and replaced on the wall in the 211th position, then, through wrapped lips, he gasped, Now what?" "Now the true pain begins." It did. Everything he had ever done, everything that better been left undone, every lie he had told to himself or told to others, every little hurt and all the great hurts, each one was pulled out of him, detail by detail, inch by inch. The demon stripped away the cover of forgetfulness Tell me what you thought of as she walked out of the door. I thought my heart was broken. No, you didn't. I thought, now, she'll never know I've been with her sister. Then the demon took apart his life, his sins, moment by moment, instant to awful instant. It lasted 100 years, perhaps, or 1,000. They had all the time there ever was in that grey room. And towards the end, he realized that the demon had been right. The physical torture had been kinder. And it ended. And once it ended, it began again and again. There was a self knowledge there he had not been there for the first time, which somehow made everything worse. Now, as he spoke, he hated himself. There were no lies, no evasions, no room for anything except the pain and the anger. He no longer wept. The demon, repeating, again, repeating, again, repeating, again. And the screams that he had once did no longer came out. No more tears were in his face, for fluid was drained out of his eyes. He was left subconsciously there, hoping for salvation, hoping for change. Again, said the demon.